Yo, GTS, Santi here. I'm bringing you an OU match that I got from the Smoke on Wi-Fi Battle Finder. Now, I will say right now that English is not my first language, so sometimes I do kind of struggle with some words. So please bear on me with that. So, here I got a battle against BloodMonkey20. I got from Smoke on Wi-Fi Battle Finder. I messaged him on Smoke on to see if he had a YouTube channel or anything like that. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, so I mean, if he does, I will probably come back and comment on this thing, of course, because give credit where credit is due, and it was a fun match, of course. Now, I am kind of running a sand team, I guess. I've never really used sand. This is probably maybe maximum the third time that I've ever used a sand team, so that's kind of it was kind of new to me. I misplayed a lot of stuff, but so I had to make up for it in the end with a mon that I am regularly used to using. So let's get right into this battle. I lit out with my Reptar here, my T-Tar, my Tyranitar here, just to get the weather going, that sand stream. He's going to lead out with his Rotom Wash. Now here I switch out into my Ferrothorn, since I know this thing can pretty much wall it, just in case he wanted to go for a Will-O-Wisp or something. Ferrothorn wouldn't mind that, or if he wanted to go for a Hydro Pump, I wouldn't mind that as well. But he actually maybe predicts that switch and goes straight for the Volt Switch, so he can get a preferable switch and get that offensive momentum going with his Breloom here. So he's gonna put me to sleep. I knew the Spore was coming. I didn't want anything else on my team really to be asleep, except for maybe just my Vegetarian there, my Ferrothorn. So that's why I just let it in and just use it as sleep fodder. So now he's gonna go for the Fighting type move. I know it's coming. He goes for the Low Sweep, which lowers my speed. So now I gotta go into or Low Kick. I'm sorry, I didn't really catch that. I'm sorry. So now I know he's gonna switch out. So I take the opportunity to go straight for the Substitute, since I know I will be safe behind the sub, and I want to see what kind of mon he tries to put out on me. So now I knew most likely it would be this Rotom Wash, and I knew I had to stall this thing out of Hydro Pumps straight from the get-go, pretty much, to make this thing useless. Because once it's out of Hydro Pumps, you know, Volt Switch, T-Bolt, anything like that isn't going to be doing too much in my team. So that's why I just go straight for the sub and protect kind of combo, just to stall him out of some PP there. I'm just going to go for it again, just to get, you know, my HP back up to full before I switch out, you know. So that's why I do that there. And I'm just going to switch out into my, I believe it's, yes, my Vegetarian here, my Ferrothorn, just to make sure, because this thing walls it. Even though it's asleep, I'm thinking, okay, I can take this Hydro Pump, I stall it out of one more, essentially. And maybe I can wake up and set up some rocks here, since he doesn't have any spinners, and I'll be good, since that Mamoswine won't enjoy switching in and out too much. And I see that really as the biggest threat on his team. But unfortunately, I am still asleep. I don't wake up or anything like that. I was hoping to get that first turn wake after coming back in, but nope, it doesn't happen. He just goes straight for that Low Sweep and takes me out. And that's one mon down. It's 5-6 now. The only good thing that came out of that was the Iron Barb, Sandstorm, and his Life Orb kind of racked up. Now here I send in my Scizor, Avenger here, and I made a gutsy play for going for the SD. I thought he would be forced to switch out, you know, maybe wanting to save this thing for later, and you know, I would get that free SD up, but it doesn't, and that Mach Punch is doing way too much, and since he is faster, his priority Mach Punch will go before my BP. Now I gotta go and switch out because I don't want to lose this Scizor just yet, just in case. So I go into my Heat Rain here, my Super Hot, to take that predicted Ice Shard, and I was really happy about that damage. Now I'll tell you why, because I thought maybe he was banded and he'd be locked into it, but no, it was a critical hit, so that explains the damage roll. So now he's gonna switch right into his Latias. I went for the Protect, I think, just to scout the Earthquake, but why wouldn't he carry Earthquake? I mean, he's a Mamoswine. That was a stupid play on my part. So now I'm just gonna go straight for a Lava Plume, and luckily I hit this Rotom Wash and I got the burn on it, so it'll make taking this thing out a little bit easier. It'll make my life a little bit easier, you know, because it definitely lowers his survivability by a lot. Now, I really wanted to predict the switch in here and go for another Lava Plume, but I went for the Protect just in case I want to stall it out of another Hydro Pump and, you know, do that thing I was doing earlier, you know, but I could have gotten a burn on that Terrakion and it would have been essentially useless. Now here, I'm going to switch into my Scizor as Death Fodder pretty much, since I do not really need it at this point. I mean, it's useless. Any hit will take it out from that point. I mean, pretty much a rapid spin kill could take it out. Now I'm going to go out into my Heat Rain here because I realize I cannot really do anything to this Mamoswine with any of my mons. He can take all of my mons on, and I just wanted to get some Life Orb damage off on this thing. Now I send in my Latios, and I know the Ice Shard is coming, but I know Latios is, you know, beast enough to take one, and I do take one, of course not well, since it is super effective. It is from a Mamoswine, of course, and I go for the Hidden Power Water, I believe. My IVs were all jacked up, and it really was kind of the only thing that I had to hit this thing with. I mean, don't ask me about my set. This isn't my Latios set normal that I normally use. It was a messed up set. I gotta fix that later on. But I'm not excusing myself here. I had to deal with it, you know. So now, this Rotom, man, this Rotom is a pain in my butt. I gotta take it out somehow with this Gliscor. I knew he most likely wouldn't. I mean, I need to get behind a sub and start protect and sub stalling this thing out of Hydro Pumps. Make this thing die, because it'll make my life so much easier. Because after this thing dies, I can kind of somehow pull something out of my butt and still go for the win. So here I'm just kind of protect stalling this thing with the burn and all that good stuff. Now he's gonna switch out into his Latias here directly. I don't really mind that, because I do get a free Ice Fang off on this thing. And that is good for me, because this Latias is also a problem, except for my T-Tar, but I don't want to switch it in on anything just yet, because, yeah, I don't think I even carry the Pursuit on it. I think it's Crunch, so I know he'll break my sub with a Dragon Pulse here, and, you know, I just want to get an Ice Fang off on this. I don't want to go for too many protects, since I was kind of fearing that I would run too low, and I do need him for the remaining of his mons. I mean, he still has 4 other mons after this Latias, and especially that Rotom is kind of a pain in my butt. So I thought he would switch out or something like that here, so that's why I went for the sub, but no, he actually just ends up breaking my sub with a Dragon Pulse, and I go for another Ice Fang, and thank God, you know, Sandstorm takes it out. So that's that, and he goes into his Mamoswine. I knew it would come down to this. I go into my T-Tar to take this Ice Shard, you know, because T-Tar, you know, he can take an Ice Shard, of course. I mean, it still does a decent amount of damage, and that Life Orb damage is racking up. Now here he's going to go out into his Lando T. Now he gets the Intimidate off, but I kind of knew he's going into his Lando T, so that's why I went right out into my Gliscor. And now I'm just going to go for the Protect, just to see what he wanted to go for, just in case this thing was Scarfed or anything like that. I want to see what he locked himself into. It's the U-turn. Now I'm going to go for the sub, and he actually carries the Stone Edge. He is not Scarf. He is probably this bulky set, the Lando T's that everybody loves to run, that can take hits for days, you know. So now he's gonna switch right back out into his Rotom. I knew he would switch out. I go behind the sub, and pretty much at this point I have to take out this Rotom right here and now, because I gotta protect stall it out of 1 burn, you know, PP stall him out of 1 Hydro Pump or anything like that. I know he'll probably go for it again, go for that Hydro Pump again just to break my sub, and he won't really care if he dies. He just wants my Gliscor out in the open. So now he's going to break the sub, of course, with the Hydro Pump, and I go for the Ice Fang, knowing that it'll do enough that where after the Sandstorm, and then even after Lefties, and then the burn, he'll die off to that. So that is good for me. This Rotom is down, and I'm at the point where it's 3-2, so I can maybe somehow win. I pull something out of my butt. I go for the Protect just to see what he wanted to go for. I see it's the Icicle Crash, so I'm going into my T-Tar thinking, okay, T-Tar, you can take this, and he'll die off to his Life Orb, but he actually ends up missing. And that miss is actually good for him, because now he can just go for the Earthquake and take out my T-Tar. I did not want to switch back out into my Gliscor, because I didn't want to risk it too much. Mamoswine dies off to his Life Orb, but he still has 2 mons on me, you know, so definitely it's still in his favor, even though Gliscor is sort of a physically defensive monster. Now here, he's gonna just switch out into his Lando T, as I went for the Protect just to see what he wanted to go for, since, you know, people nowadays only run Choice Terrakion, like Choice Scarf or Choice Banded. So that's what I want to see, what he locked himself into or anything like that. I mean, it wouldn't really matter since I only have 1 mon, but I just wanted to get some HP back as well. Now, I go behind my sub, and his U-turn is not going to break my sub, because Gliscor, of course, is a Gliscor. So he switches right back out into the Lando to take the Earthquake, of course, since it is immune, it's Power Flying. And he actually doesn't take out my sub. He actually just goes for the Stone Edge and takes my sub. And here I'm gonna go for another sub, and he goes for a Stone Edge, does not break it. Must have gotten min damage on that thing. Gliscor is a monster. And here I'm just gonna go for the Ice Fang, and I get the flinch, which kind of makes up. I don't know if you guys noticed, I missed an earlier Ice Fang, so that was kind of unfortunate for me. Now I'm just gonna go for another Ice Fang, deal some, because he got that -1 on me from the Intimidate. It isn't doing as much as it should. That's kind of why that's going on there. So now he's just gonna U-turn, bring me out in the open. I know I can take a Stone Edge from full and have enough HP to make a sub, even from a Terrakion. You know, even though Terrakion is an attacking monster, I am a physical defensive beast, even though I am not fully defensive. That just shows you how good Gliscor is. So now I'm just kind of at this point hoping, you know, maybe he'll miss one. I go for the Earthquake, and even at -1, look how much that does. I mean, Gliscor, I freaking love you, man. It's kind of I'm kind of running a mixed custom set with the EV spread, and that's how I like to run it. It works out for me, as you can see, you know. Now I'm just gonna go for protect. I'm gonna go for just to, you know, protect, of course. I'm sorry, and just to stall him out of one stone edge PP, and hoping that he misses, and he does miss on his next one, and I am able to get the earthquake off and take him out. So Gliscor over here just doing work. Is down to just him, his Lando, and my Gliscor. Who will win? I'm pretty sure the odds are in my favor. I'm gonna go for protect just to get some more poison heal HP back, increase my survivability, go for an Ice Fang here, and I get another flinch, which in the end it really didn't matter because he could have broken my sub, and assuming that I didn't miss the next one, I could have just Ice Fanged him and taken him out. But even then, he wouldn't have been able to one-shot me with any one move, so I really had 2 more opportunities after that to take him out. So that was a good game, BloodMonkey20. I definitely had a lot of fun. I had to make up for it at the end, and guys, you guys at the GTS watching this, I accept any, you know, constructive criticism. I definitely want to get better at this. I like to put out content that you guys will enjoy, of course. Definitely check out my channel if you like this narration, this battle, you know. I respect all my subs. I take care of you guys, you know, put out the best content that I can, and definitely subscribe to the GTS. Thanks for making this community grow, and peace out, guys. I'll catch you later.